I'll tell you who's been looking good. Weston McKennie for Juventus. He scored today against Cremonense as they absolutely demolished them 5-0. And he has been impressive lately for Juventus, but despite all of this, it seems like neither party are interested in renewing their deal. And his deal comes to an end this summer, June 30th to be exact. So he also has a bit of a saga going on now here. Casey, considering we're talking about the January transfer window, it doesn't seem like either party wants to renew despite how things are going now. Does he leave now?
Well, I think he leaves now if the right suitor comes along for both parties. But, you know, this has been something that's been happening to Weston for the last couple of years. Every summer, new manager comes in, says you're surplus goods. Mm-hmm. He does a job. He fights himself back into the team. Next year starts and the saga starts all over again. Part of the problem is when you're on a specific contract, and they can't get the number for you, or another club doesn't want to pick up the number that you're already on, you know, you're kind of stuck if you're Juventus. And they've clearly made a decision, even though Weston keeps proving them wrong by getting back into the starting lineup, that they've decided that it's not for them. And I think Weston is also in this. I don't think Weston particularly wants to leave Juventus, but he wants to be at a club that wants him. And if a club every year tells you we no longer want you, why would you sign a new contract? Because why do you think it's going to change the following summer?
Well, as Casey was saying, Herc, this Weston McKennie cycle is just like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If you evaluate his season now, how would you? Is it just simply not enough for a new deal? Do you understand where Juventus is coming from?
Well, I don't think this is Juventus holds the cards. I think this is Weston holds the cards. You're going to be a free agent at the end of the World Cup or during the World Cup. That's a powerful chip if you're a player. That means no transfer fee. That's more money for you, more money in your pocket, a higher salary. I think the cards are in Weston's favor. Weston holds the power right now. If you're Juventus, you do everything you can to lock him down. So if he has a good tournament and somebody wants a potential sell, a Major League Soccer is willing to splurge on players, whatever the case may be, then you cash in. But right now, Weston is the one with the power. Weston's the one. This isn't so much rinse and repeat because he's never had this leverage. He has the leverage now. He's not signing. I wouldn't sign. I would play my hand, go to the World Cup, hope you have a good World Cup in your own country, and see what a good World Cup in your country can unfold for you. Parlay that. I think that's the move. I think that's what Weston is going for. I think Juventus right now is just out of cards.
Right.
Ale?
So then as I'm reading the report, you're suggesting that then the report is incorrect. Because as I read the report,
Correct.
Juventus not interested in renewing the deal.
Yeah.
You're saying
because contract talks with Weston have stalled. They've not come to an agreement.
I think it's
Mainly
like
based
the
on
Real
his part.
Madrid, Xabi Alonso mutual party.
Okay.
I
Yes.
think it's not so
It's
mutual.
a mutual party. They've stalled with him
I'm
because
reading what it says.
he's not looking to commit, so maybe Juventus are trying to
Right.
flex their power to saying, okay, cool, well, we don't have to offer you anything.
Well, here's what I would say. If Juventus thought that Weston McKennie was a player that was a no-doubter for the next 5-7 years, they would be interested in renewing the deal. But since he has been a player that has been in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, now he's out. Now, I understand your point, and I'm much like you, if I were Weston McKennie at this point, I bet on myself.
Correct.
I bet on myself because you have, and this is something that players usually do not have, power and independence.
Yes.
However, it's a risk as well.
Yes, it is.
Anytime that you're betting on yourself or betting on something away from your control, because you can control your performances, but you cannot control the performances of others, and this is a team sport. You depend on others as well to make you look good and as you make them look good. We're assuming, or he's assuming, that he's going to have a great World Cup. Well, there's the other option. What if there isn't a big World Cup? What if the United States are not as good as they could be or we think they can be? Then the market shrinks. And it because there'll be others that will have an opportunity to showcase themselves in the World Cup. He's not the only one.
Well, let's look at it from an even, I'll go negative, Ali.
Oh boy! Whoa! Why negative Ali?
Well, because we've all been around negative, Ali.
That is true.
Wow! That is true.
I just meant like when Venezuela.
Eric, that's right.
I've not seen negative.
Good to see you.
I've only seen negative Ale within reason.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, I mean, how much is Weston featured under Pochettino?
Yeah, well.
Not very much.
No. And not in his position either.
Right?
yep.
So Weston had a stint at Leeds. How did that go?
Flat.
Okay, so now you're already saying he's done well in Italy. And I respect everything he's done, because what is to me, one of the most difficult things to do is to change somebody's mind. And on multiple times, coaches have come into Juventus and said, "You're not my guy," and ends up changing their mind and starting for that coach.
Multiple positions.
Multiple
schemes.
positions and multiple times.
Yeah.
So absolute ton of respect for that. But there's probably clubs in England that are saying, it didn't go so well at Leeds. Is there other teams in Italy? Sure, but you're talking about Juventus. So I don't know. I think it'll be a little tricky. It's not going to simply just be, I'm a free agent. Come on, come get me.
I see exactly where you're both coming from. But for the last 3 years, he's been on a 1-year contract. They've been trying to get him out. 3 years ago.
I wouldn't sign for that
3 years
either,
ago, they left him off the USA tour. And then when they realized they're going to cash in or lose marketing dollars, they added him to the USA tour. It's been multiple coaches, multiple tactical schemes, multiple positions. He proves his worth, and yet he always gets left wanting more.
Correct.
So if this is indeed the route that Weston is going, I don't blame him one bit. As a footballer, you want more control, more say in your future.
You also want somebody
He's
that
got a little
wants
bit
you.
Of course.
You also want to be somewhere
Well, we
where
heard the
you're
rumors.
wanted and
We
respected.
we heard the transfer rumors just last year before as well, about FC Cincinnati wanting him as well. So
They were talking crazy money.
They were talking crazy money indeed. So is MLS the right move to go? Is it just time for MLS, Ale, for him? 27?
My opinion of MLS obviously is built upon my experiences on MLS, but the world of MLS has changed dramatically. And when they're bidding $18 million for Josh Sargent, then if you're Weston McKennie, you're thinking, well, my market is higher than that.
Yeah.
And so then you ask the question, how much is Weston McKennie worth in the European market? And is it much more than whatever MLS would bid for him? And so there are a lot of things that make sense in this case for Weston McKennie, but I do believe, and I don't know him personally, but I have seen the trajectory, and I've seen the struggles, and I've seen a guy that has fought his way back from the depths of being nowhere in particular to actually earning a place. So, and that tells me that there's an element of grinding there. A grinding that I would have liked to have seen from Weston McKennie more consistently over the years. But we have seen it in moments with Juventus when he's been forced to fight, he has fought. And if that's the case, I think he wants one more go around at the big time. And one more opportunity. How much bigger than Juventus is that going to be? That's the question.
That is a question indeed. Herc, you look like you want to say something.
There was a time, and you guys will remember not too long ago, where Major League Soccer brought in big stars from the U.S. men's national team. I played with a few in Toronto, Josie Elter, Michael Bradley. I played with one in Seattle, Clint Dempsey. Ala Bedoya came in later. There was an exodus of players from the U.S. men's national team coming to Major League Soccer. One could make a claim, and you could say whatever you want about where Major League Soccer was at that point in time, and it's a much different time today. But you can make an argument that wasn't as beneficial for the U.S. men's national team as one would have hoped for. They missed the World Cup first time in I don't know how many goes, 2018. It needs to be something where there's continued growth for Weston McKennie. It's not so much the league, but the setup. And I agree with Ali. He's a player that, when challenged, has risen to the occasion, but you want to see it more. You want to see more of that.
You're not coming home for development. You're not coming home for taking that next step forward. You're coming home because you're
27.
getting a ridiculous amount of money to do so.
But at 27, you still think there's time?
To make money?
Well, no.
I mean,
we know he
because-
can still do that.
No, that's,
But
I mean,
to
no,
continue
no,
developing as well as the league.
No, if he's coming home simply because it's like, this is life-changing and I can't turn this down.